Hello, how are you this evening? This is Jacqueline. I'm Jacqueline Klee with Creative Paper Crafting with Jackie, and this is the image that we are going to work on tonight. I have washi tape over it so that the image doesn't get stolen. That's what I'm trying to do. And this is from the Wonderland Nixie Pixie Elves of the Woodlands by Sherri Baldy. I'll try to repeat that again, or maybe Sharon will post the name. Hello, Sherri. How are you tonight? I'm a little, was running just a few minutes late, so I feel a little frazzled tonight. So tonight I'm going to color this image, and then I have, I think it's an adorable card that I'm going to put together today. So we'll get started. I am going to start with her face, and I am using a different combination than I normally do. Since she's an elf, I wanted her cheeks to show up a little bit more red, and I'm using, actually I am using my RO20 is what I'm going to use for her cheeks. Like I said, I'm sorry, I was running just a little bit late. So I am using YR00. I don't know if you can see those or not. YR00, E00, and E000. It seems like it's just a little bit blurry when I get close to the camera. So I'm going to start with my lightest. So I'm just going to put it here. And this is my E000. And I'm just going over her face, just slightly, lightly. I always say I'm a little heavy-handed, so I have to try to be gentle. And I will try to read your comments. I just wanted to get started. I'm doing a larger card tonight. I'm doing an 8x8 card. You know, you can do your cards in any size. 5x7 is very common. 5.5 by 4 1/4, which is the A2 card, is very popular in America. 6x6 in the UK, and larger. And I am going to do an 8x8 card tonight. So it is going to be large. But that's okay. Makes it more fun. And this is my YR00. And we do have, well, a few people on. We have Robin Justice is on. Hello, Robin. Thanks for joining us again tonight. That's really spectacular. I'm so happy that you found my page, because I had renamed my page, and it doesn't match up. You know, the URL part of it doesn't match up. You have to have so many members before that will change. So sorry. I guess I haven't reached that yet. So I'm just going in where I want her face to have a little bit of shadow with my YR00. And now I'm going to go with my E0, and I'm kind of looking over my shoulder here at the same time. Oh, there's my R20. So this is the E00. I hope everybody's having a good Friday evening. I am. We had our old standby. We had pizza tonight. The teenager is not home. He's out and about. Our 11-year-old, he eats a lot of food during the day, you know, like breakfast and lunch. He eats a lot. And then at supper time, he's not hungry. And then the baby, oh my gosh, does she like pizza? It's so funny. She's 17 months old and she loves pizza. So we had a frozen pizza, and it went, you know, okay, because it was my husband, myself, and the baby. Now, had my teenager been home, we would have had to have a whole nother pizza for him. And I'm going to go in with my R20. Nope, that is not my R20. That's my RV02. Let me see where my R20 is. I hope I dropped that on the stairs as I was coming down. Here it is, R20. Now, I do have a mixture of the Chow's, the Copic Sketch, And then I actually also have the original. And between the sketch and the chow, there's really no difference in the nibs, but the original, there is. I do have a combination. My students, I had a group of students one time that bought me a whole set. I think it was like 30 of the chow. They were from Japan, and we had an activity in class saying, what would you do if you had $100? And they were all saying, well, you couldn't do anything with $100. And they asked me what I would do, and I said, I'd buy markers. And then at the end of the semester, they bought me markers. E00. And I felt bad. I said, wow, because they're so expensive. But they said, not in Japan. They're not expensive in Japan. I'm going to try to move my camera up a little bit. I think being so close, it makes it blurry. I'm going to have to play with that when I'm not doing it live, because I don't want it to be blurry when I'm trying to show you the markers. So I'm just going in with my E00, and I'm trying to lighten up just a little bit so it doesn't have such a hard line of demarcation on her cheeks. You know, it looks a little harsh, so I'm just trying to spread that out just a little bit. Now, when we get her hair done, it does help. It lightens up the face. So right now her face does look a little harsh, but it will look much better when we get done. And I'm just using this V05, V05, you know, like the hair on her lips. She has a little bit of lipstick. She has a pouty little lips. See, so cute. Oh my gosh. I love these images. Okay, so now I am going to do inside her ears, and I am going to use the same color I did on her cheeks, but I'm just trying to do it a little bit lighter, a lighter touch, and just barely whisking it so that it's not quite as dark as her cheeks, because I don't want her ears to look dark. And then I'm going to take my YR00, and I am going to go around the edges where, I think be a little bit of shading here, a little bit darker. And I often go back over my images a little bit. So I'm doing her neck, just a little bit of her skin is showing. I'm going to go back and where her hairline is at and get a little bit more shadow. And I may go back in after I get done coloring. My messages are not scrolling. Hi, Gail. Gail, I don't know if you could maybe send a message to Sharon. She might not realize, because the time is different now. They had their daylight savings time last week. We don't have ours until Sunday. So she may be off on the time a little bit. All right, I was going to try something different with the hair, and I'm going to do her hair in pink. I know I should have practiced a little bit more. I'm just going off to the side and making sure these are the 3 I wanted to use. You know, I always do something experimental. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not, but there are no mistakes in art. That's what Bob Ross always says, so I just go with that. Okay, so we're going to do pink, and I'm just doing little flicking motions. I almost missed my live tonight. I tell you, I was sitting at the table with my husband. He said, what time are you going to go live? And I said, 7. And I have to be down there at 6 to get ready. And then he said, oh, he didn't say anything. And then about 10 minutes later, I looked, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 6:30. Why didn't you tell me? And he said, oh, well, I thought you knew. Like, thanks. Thanks a lot. So this is R21. I'm using R21, RV21, RV13, and RV10. And the RV10 is going to be for the highlights. And I'm just flicking. I think I could take the tape off now. The other night I tore my paper. I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to do this lightly. I think the lights, the heat had kind of melted my tape on. Was not good. But it worked out okay. Gosh. Yeah, I hope that Sharon comes on. She was going to share the live. Maybe, Gail, you could share the live for me since Sharon is not on yet. I'm sure she doesn't realize about the time difference. You're here, but you're working. Gail, could you maybe share the live for me? I am not on my phone. I'm using my webcam, so I don't have my phone with me where I can easily share. I went with my webcam because that one night the volume went off, and it was definitely Facebook, because when I went back and looked at my video to edit it, the sound was perfect all the way through. So very frustrating. And I've noticed that several people are having some problems with Facebook while they're doing their lives. I really had never had any problems, but then I had problems 2 nights in a row, 2 lives in a row. All right, so I think I am going to go in with another pink, just because I think it needs a little bit more, just a little bit more oomph. If I were going to have pink hair, I definitely want a little more oomph. Actually, I have a coworker. I teach English. Actually, I have a coworker, a fellow English teacher, and she has pink hair. And she just got married, so her hair is like really, really pink. She had just gotten it done. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Gail. You're so sweet. I will do the same for you when you need someone to do it. Gail has Stamping with Gail Sue. Her site is Stamping with Gail Sue. And she has fabulous lives. I hope to one day be as good as Gail. All right, so I've done her face, and you see with her hair, it does make her skin tone look fine, just fine. And I think these girls look so pretty with really pinky pink cheeks. Okay, I am going to do, let me see, I think I do bits and pieces. I don't do it in nice order. I think I will do her hat next. And I am going to do this in blues. So let me get my blues out. I'm having a little problem with my blues. I might not really want to do my blues. I refilled my markers, and a couple of them are bleeding like crazy. I should have brought the scale down and weighed them before I did it, and I didn't. My error. Okay, so drop my marker. Anyway, I love Fridays. On Fridays I have to do an hour office time. I teach all week, all day long, which is kind of unheard of in college. I have an all day long class because I teach ESL. But on Fridays I only have to go in and do an office hour, and then whatever meetings that I have. And then I have my kids' appointments. I have lots of appointments for my kids on Fridays. B16. But I still like it. I still feel like it's a breather for me. So I'm just doing around the edges of her hat. And I'm doing blue just to add a little bit. I'm doing a lot of blue, pinks on this image. So I just wanted a little bit of difference. So I'm just doing around her hat. Sorry, I get a little quiet when I'm thinking. Okay. And I'm going to check my markers as I use them. Okay, so that was my B16. And now I am going to go in with my B12. But I'm doing this off to the side on paper because I am having some issues with my markers leaking a bit. And they are pressurized, so really you should take off both ends, and I generally do. I just didn't do that tonight so far. I should do it. I know I should do it. Okay, I'm just coloring in. I'm pulling the color out a little bit. And now I'm going to go in with my B. Let's see where my other one's at. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is. My B00. And like I said, I'm going to do this off to the side because I'm having some major issues. Oops, oh well. Okay. Yeah, it is just, I'm hoping that it will be okay. I think I'll take both ends off and I will just, so I'm doing the lighter shade, but you can't really tell, but it's laying down a lot of ink because it is really, 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 really leaky. So I'm not going to put too much of that on there. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with my B16 and my B14. Blushing stamp with Gail Sue. Blushing, oh. Stamp with Gail Sue. Really, I absolutely adore Gail's Lives. See, see how it's really bleeding? It's because I overfilled my pen, and so I have a lot of that light blue, so it's pulling, see, it's just taking my color and spreading it, which is not a good thing. So it's making it a little hard to lay down my color. You should really measure, weigh your markers as you fill them, you know, and I didn't do that. And so I have a little bit of a problem. My error. So I'm trying to not lay down too much color. I'm going to let that dry because of the blue being so leaky. Okay. So I am going to finish off with her hat. Hi, Dawn. It's okay that you're late. I think you were probably eating supper because I caught your little live. I'm kind of worried because I don't see Sharon on. I hope she's okay. But hopefully she comes. Yes, better late than never. That's my motto. Better late than never. I am going to do these little, I'd say they're flowers. I'm going to do those next. And I am actually going to use a couple of my Spectrum Noirs. I'm using the MG2 and the MG1. And the reason I'm doing this is because sometimes I use my Spectrum Noirs when I do a live. Sometimes I do my Copics. But I want you to see that you can use any markers you have and that they work together. As long as they're alcohol markers, they will work together. So I thought I would just use a little bit of both so that you could see that you don't have to just stick with one brand of alcohol markers. Use whatever you have at home. Do not go out and buy lots of product. Be mindful. Get it as you can. I'm just going in now with my MG1 and just a little bit. Now, because these are smaller flowers, I'm not going to do 2 coats like I normally do. I'm just going to do 1. And now I am going to go in with my G000, which is pale gray. And again, I'm going off to the side here because it's another one that I filled. I just feel like I overfilled all of them. So the color is spreading very quickly because I did that. Okay, so I'm just going in around her hat. And I am going to put a little bit of shade in a moment. I'm just going around the hat first. A little bit. All right. Is anybody else looking forward to the new Mr. Rogers movie that's coming out? Anybody else planning on going? Oops, see, I just got a big glob. Uh-oh, and that can just ruin your image. See, I'm going to take off my other end. Okay, see, it really spread there. So I took off my other end because they are pressurized, and my color did bleed over. It's okay though, we can fix it. We can fix it, no worries. Okay. I'm looking forward to the Mr. Rogers movie. I don't know if you guys are or not, but I think it's going to be fantastic. It's kind of funny because really as a child, I didn't get to watch them because we lived in Germany and we did not, at that time, we didn't get American TV, MG2. Now you can get anything when you live in other countries, except here in America you can't. But when you live in other countries, you can pick up channels from all over. It's amazing. Of course, you can watch things on the internet. You can stream things. All right, so I'm going to go back in right here on the edge a little bit, just a little bit, and over here too. I want to make it look a little rounded. Hi, Jennifer Garcia. How are you? I'm so glad you could join us tonight. And Melissa Whitaker. Hi. Hi. Oh, so nice to, oh, Shirley Ross. Hi. How are you, Shirley Ross? Shirley is my mother's name, so I love that name, Shirley. How are you tonight, Shirley? All right, so I am actually going to do her shoes next. Like I said, I do jump around. I'm sorry. I don't know. I have no excuse for it. It's just the way I operate. So I'm going to do her shoes, and I'm going to do these in a pink. I had it laid out here, and I think I moved it because I used it on her hair. Let me see. Okay. So I'm going to use this RV14. And I'm going to do her shoes next. I just kind of jump around. I apologize. I do. So right here where Sherri, who is the artist, has already made lines where it would be naturally a little bit darker, I am going in and trying to do the same thing. And then around the tip here too. I'm trying to touch lightly. When you do a live, you color faster than when you are doing it when you're just sitting and coloring. So sometimes I feel like I'm going too fast and not being careful enough. So I'm trying to be careful here. Okay, so I'm going to come on down just a little bit more. And so that was my RV 13. My RV13. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, my RV14. I apparently can't read very well. RV14. And so now I'm going in with my, now I'm using my RV13. And I'm just kind of pulling it out. Let's see, I'm just kind of pulling it out a little bit. Pull it out just a little bit. A little bit more. Oh, I apologize if you can hear my floorboards. My husband is walking across them. Old house, you know. Actually, we had a really old house. We had a historic home here in Vincennes, and that house was so solid. It had been brought in by train in parts. You know, they used to order houses through the Sears catalog. This was not ordered through the Sears catalog, but it was brought in the same way by train in parts. And it was a magnificent house. But you could not hear a sound in that house. So I'm going back to my RV14 again. And I'm just trying to pull this color through a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Around here. I'm laughing because I can hear the baby giggling. I don't know if you can hear her too or not. Hi, Fatima. Hi, Stephanie. I do not have a third color, so I am just See, I'm just touching it, kind of taking some of the color. So I can kind of pull it up a little bit. Make sure I have the right ones, doing it the right way. Oh, I do not. Let me do it this way. Just kind of trying to use this to make a medium tone. I'm still building my marker supply. I buy a few a month is how I do it. I have quite a few now. I mean, I'm not hurting for markers, but I don't have every shade that I would like to have. There we go. All right, so then I'm going to make sure I put the caps on the right ones and move them out of my way. I'm making a big mess on my hands. I better kind of wipe them. Sorry. How are you, Stephanie? I love your cards, Stephanie. Oh my gosh, the one that you have that little button that says hi. Oh my gosh, how adorable is that? They're all adorable, but I don't know, I loved it. Okay, so I feel like her shoes, not his shoes, her shoes right there are pretty good. And I am going to now do her little flower on her boots. I actually did this all in like basically one tone. I didn't, well, what I mean is I'm not doing like a different leaf, because I feel like it's an accent on her boots. So it's not really a flower, like a true flower. So I just did it using, did the whole thing, say, with a green instead of doing like leaves green and the flower a different color. So that was my BG 23, and now I'm going on my BG 13, and I'm just going around. I'm going to do this twice. And just kind of doing it like that. There we go. She's a cheerful image, I think. So whimsical. I just love her. And so I wanted a lot of colors. And my background paper has a lot of colors. I hope that it's okay. I'm just kind of lightly touching, lightly touching. I'm going to go in a little bit more. There we go. A little bit more in places, just lightly touching so I can have some shading going on. Lightly touching. She is cute, isn't she? She is. So how are you, Fatima? Haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing okay. I've seen you on other lives, but I know my lives are kind of like at a maybe inconvenient time for some people. Although I have started doing a Wednesday night live as well. All right, so I'm going back in with my E00, my YR00, my E00, because I need to do her legs. Just going in, especially back here where her calf is at. And in the back here, kind of underneath her skirt. Where her boots are at. You know, there are no marker police. I always say that. There are no marker police. How you color is how you color. Do not worry so much. You know, the thing is just to color and to practice. And really, coloring is just, I don't know, relaxing when you have had a rough day. It's very relaxing. I always feel it's very relaxing. I often sit on the floor upstairs after I get the baby to go to sleep, and I sit and color because I don't want to wake her up. So I sit on the floor with the light. I don't want to wake her up, so I sit there and, you know, enjoy myself. So my granddaughters are coming over to spend the night having a house full. I'm going to let them watch you guys color because they love making. Lost my lid. That you're granddaughters like making cards. That is so nice. When I don't want to rush my baby to become older, because time is so fleeting. But boy, will it be fun when we can craft together. I have other children that are older, so I know time is fleeting. And so I'm appreciating every moment that I have this time around. All right, so I am going to do her skirt, and I am using pinks again. I'm using a lot of pink in this image, and maybe for some people it's too much pink, but I don't know. I love pink, and I just think she's so pretty. So I'm going to do her fringe last, and I am going to go in with RV 23. And I'm just doing right here on the edges. And she has a waistcoat, see? You know, I really actually wondered if this was truly skin or should this have been like a leotard type thing, since it is winter. But I went with skin because it looked like it was her knee. Now I'm going to go right up in here too. And then I am going to use that was my RV 23, and I am going to use my RV 13. And I'm just going to pull this down a little bit more. Actually, there's another layer here that I was kind of missing. Here we go. It's so nice to have your grandchildren visit. I have children and grandchildren. You know, I mean, I have children younger than grandchildren. Let me say that a different way. Of course, I have both. Generally, you have both. But I have children younger than grandchildren, and some grandchildren that are older than my grandchildren. That's what I'm trying to say in a tongue-twisted way. Now I'm using RV 10 because I feel like this would be a little bit lighter over here from the way she's turned. And I'm going to go in here. Since I was 18, I have not been without children in my household. So, and I think that, I guess, because of my age and now having a baby, I would say that I will probably die with children still living at home, which is fine. Fine. You know, they're a blessing, believe me. I'm just going over the edge a little bit more. I'm trying to pull this down. So I wanted it to be a little lighter in the middle. I need to pull my colors through just a little bit. Once you get done with the entire image, it looks so much better. I will put on my blog the colors I'm using because I know I'm kind of going fast. And I apologize for that. And I'm going to go back over this again on the edge. Then I'm going to do the waistcoat, I think. Oh, no, I'm going to do the rest of the skirt. Okay. So I am using, let me see, my RV. I think it's my RV 14 that I was going to use next. Yeah, my RV 14. And is it this one? Yeah. Okay, so I'm using, this is kind of a strange combination, my RV 14 and RV 04. So I'm just going in here where her pleats are at, kind of bringing this up. And this image is 3.5, and it is from the My Bestie shop. Oh, gee, I had printed out the address to the My Bestie shop. Let me put that out for you, just in case you want to get this image, because it is just adorable. So here it is, My Bestie shop. It is such an adorable image, and I did this one in 3.5, but I often do them in 4 inches, which actually is my preference. 4 inches is actually my preference. But even though I'm doing an 8x8 card, I needed her a little bit smaller because of the placement. But actually, if you do the 4 inches, you really have a little bit more room to work. Now this is kind of a hot pink. Just going in, and then I'm going to do the top of the pleats again. Kids make you young. Yes, somewhat. Sometimes I feel old. Sometimes I feel old when the teachers talk to me and complain, you know, because you can't make your kids be perfect. I had one of them talk to me about my 17-month-old. I'm thinking, now, come on. It's not like I can go home and give her a lecture and get her to stop doing whatever it is she was doing, you know. 17 months, now come on. Then I felt rather old. But, you know, it is what it is. That's what my friend always says. Now I'm using our V21. It is what it is. But for the most part, I do think kids keep you young. Because I mean, I'm active all the time. I work full time. I'm running around to appointments. So yeah, kids keep you young. Cuts down on my crafting time though. All right, so I was just doing her fringe, and now I am going to do her waistcoat. And you know, her waistcoat is right in here. Actually, I'm almost tempted to do her scarf first. I think I'm going to go ahead and do her scarf. So again, I'm going to use my Spectrum Noirs. I'm going to use AB2 and AB3. And just going in. You can see where the lines are at. Makes it so much easier, doesn't it? These artists are fantastic. And this is Sherri Baldy is the artist. Oh my gosh. I would love to be able to create images. Oh my goodness. I see them in my head, but I can't lay them out on the paper. Yes, I will. Clark Kent's. That's an interesting name. I will include the colors. I will. I have a blog, and I always fill in my colors and things. I probably won't do it tonight. I'll do it first thing in the morning. I may do it tonight, but I'll probably do it either for late tonight or first thing in the morning. I like to include the colors because it gives people ideas. But you don't have to use these colors. This image can be any way you want it. I have done her in a light blue, a dark blue. I've already colored her a couple of different times in a couple of different ways. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to do her waistcoat. I just wanted to get the scarf kind of out of the way. And then we're going to put this image together. And oh my God, I just think she's so the waistcoat because of my leaky. Let me check this out again. Because it was this one that was leaking. So I don't know. We're going to be bold. We're going to go for it. This is a G00. I just wanted a pale. Trying not to be too heavy-handed because of the leaking. I just wanted a kind of a pale color waistcoat. Is that old-fashioned to say waistcoat? I don't know. Sometimes my kids laugh at me. They say I use archaic words. I don't know. Hi, Nancy. How are you? You know, actually, I started, when I did alcohol markers, I actually started with, they're not Spectrum Noirs, Coloristas. That's what I had actually started with. I had a set of Coloristas. I still have them. I use them all the time. And I loved them. I absolutely loved them. It's really funny because I actually have been, I have been using these for years and they're not refillable, but they've not ever needed refilling. Now what I'm doing is going over certain areas more than once with this so that it does give a little bit of a rounded look. I'm laughing again. Sorry. I hear some laughter upstairs and it makes me laugh. Oh, hello, Marlene. How are you? Kruger is, I was talking about an old house that I lived in, and that was actually the name of the house, the Kruger house. There we go. And so now, again, because I do not have every color, what I do is, make sure I have the right one, is I take a green, and I am taking BG23, and I'm just taking it with my lighter marker, so I'm just kind of, I say marrying it together. I think some people might say kissing it together. See, I'm doing the shading with it. And you can do that when you don't have every color that there is. That's a good way to make, like, mix your own colors. See, and I'm just going in because I want to give her some shading, especially here. See, and around down here. And this works really well. It helps stretch your markers until you can get as many as you need. Right? Okay. But you know what's really good to do is to put the correct lids on your markers. Okay, there we go. And now for her button. I know she is a bit bright. For her buttons right here, I'm just going in right here. There we go. Okay, so now we have her mittens, and then we have her book. So I'm going to go ahead and do her book, and I'm doing this in warm grays, and then we'll do her mittens, and then we'll do the bubbles. So see her pages right here. I think she's singing, and my sentiment reflects that. Sharon helped me find a good sentiment this time. I'm trying to go up on, I'm sorry if I haven't said your name or missing comments, because my phone is not scrolling anymore with comments since the latest update. I think a lot of people are having that same problem. Before alcohol markers, actually I used colored pencils, which I still love. They take a lot longer. And before that, I did watercoloring, and before that, I actually used to oil paint. And I gave up oil painting because it was just expensive. I wouldn't say gave up. I just kind of put it on hold because it's an expensive hobby. And it also takes up a lot of room, and we don't have the room right now. Okay, so now I'm going to do her mittens. And for her mittens, I'm going to do a blue again. And I'm just going to do them a light color. So I'm using B00 and B000. And I am going to do my markers off to the side because like I said, I'm having a little issue from when I refilled them. These ones, I hope, are okay. Well, they are messy too. I'm just kind of going in. And I'm going to go in with the lighter color too. So I'm going to do this for thumbs. Now I'm going to go in with the lighter blue. Oh yes, that's a mess. So I'm going to go in with the lighter color. Oh my gosh. This is the one that's got a problem. Nothing like having a problem while you're doing a live. Okay. I am not going to do too much more to her because my marker is a big mess. All right, so this is my chow. Okay, so we're going to do the bubbles. Move this out of my way. Wipe my hands. Old family home. Yeah, this house is old. It's great. I'm not complaining. I'm happy to have it. Actually, we haven't been in this house very long. My previous home was a house that my in-laws had built. My husband had grown up in that house, and he the windows, the kitchen windows, were built in a way that one house was next door to the sister's house. So it's his mother and his aunt. When they were young, they both built these houses, and they lined up the kitchen windows so they could talk to each other. I always thought, how neat. But it wasn't so neat once you, you know, when new people moved in, because you didn't really want strangers looking right in your kitchen. So I am using BV13 and BV02. And what I do is I just kind of go into my little bubbles, and I lay down like a little dark, just like a little C. Little C. And because this image is smaller than I normally do, it's funny how half an inch can make a difference, but it does. I mean, it's not a lot of room to work. So I'm just going in like that. And she actually has one on her face. Oh, I see a couple more that I could do it on. And then we're going to put this card together. I feel like I've hogged the conversation. Sorry. I think Dawn, her house might be a little bit older too. Sometimes she talks about, but I never have heard it. She talks about hearing people on the floorboard or her son, but I've never actually heard it during her live. I think we hear things that other people don't hear. You know, like we worry about things other people, you can't hear it and you're not really worried about it. All right. So there we go. And now we are going to do her, we're going to do the card. So I'm just going to move all my markers out of the way. And if you have any questions, please feel free. I put my markers all in a box, if that's what you're hearing me do, so that I can go back in and type up the colors. So I'm not putting them in there permanent. Oh. Okay, I am reconnecting. I hope I didn't lose you guys for very long. So sorry. Facebook. Problems with Facebook. So sorry. I see a little place that I need to go back in. So I'm going to do that real quick. And so I'm hoping that, oh, people are finding me again. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what happens sometimes with a live. I'm just going back in on the bubbles a little bit more. I know it seems funny trying to give the bubbles a little bit of depth, but I am. All right. Well, 2 people have found me. I'm sorry. I don't know exactly what happened there. I just kind of felt like I was all alone. That's not my live there. Okay, so we're going to do the card. We're going to put it together now. So people that can't come back, that's okay, because I'm trying to find it so I can read comments. It's okay, because the coloring part was basically done. All right, so now we're going to do the card. And I am doing and it is my Bestie shop. I'm going to do an 8x8 card. I'm We have 4 people that have found us again. So I have actually already made my card base. And I am going to go ahead and glue this down. And I use art glitter glue, which I love. So we have 5 people that have found us. So the second part, I am putting together the card. So it's okay. I was really done with the coloring when I think I lost people. All right, a little bit more. I think it's such a pretty pink. This is why I used so much pink, because my image is, my card itself is going to be a lot of pink. Pink and greens, or turquoisey greens. Trying to get this. Oh my goodness. There we go. What I should have done is probably stood up to do this. This is why I use glue, because you can kind of maneuver it around. Not real happy with that. Yeah. Nah, not real happy. Nah, I'm not happy with that. Let me take that apart and redo it. This is why I like glue, because it's not doesn't adhere until you really push down on it. Gives you time to move it around. So I'm going to stand up. I think that's better. Stand up. Yes. I think that's better. Okay. Now I'm going to push it down. Okay. And I have the most adorable paper that I'm using. I thought the house was perfect. I thought it was just so whimsical. Hi, Gail. I'm so glad you're back. I said that the first half was coloring anyway, and the second part is just putting together the card. And it doesn't take that long to put it together. Probably the little sentiment might take the longest. All right, isn't this adorable paper? I'm almost out of this paper pad. I have loved this paper pad for years, and I hate to be out of it. So there we go. And now I'm going to take my little girl, and I'm going to mat her. We're going to cover up this right here. For my sentiment, I put the code. Let me bring that down here. The code of elves. And then I have, let's see, treat every day like Christmas. There's room for everyone to be on the nice list, and the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And I thought that was perfect, because she is singing. I am sure she's singing. I'm not going to sing because I do not have confidence in my voice, but I am going to assemble her. I am using my whiskers here. I'm making her a little narrow because I'm going to mat her. And put her on this card. And right here. Hi, Melissa. I'm so glad you found me again. Oh, I see something I did not do. I'm going to do it in just a second. I'm so glad you found me. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I think that, honestly, that Facebook, really, they don't like you to have lives. Or they want you to buy, like, the business plan or something. I know there's someone else I know that does lives, and he swears that during his lives they purposely kind of shut him down. I always kind of thought it was his imagination, but now I'm beginning to think, I think there's some truth to it. Okay, what I'm doing, I don't want her to be just like, floating. So she is stepping, right? She is stepping. So just kind of giving her a little bit of like ground, a little darker right here, a little darker. There we go. All right, so I'm going to mat this, and I'm using the same matting that I used over here. But before I do that, I'm going to take my Pearlescent Orchard Brilliance. I've said this before. I like to do the edge. Some people use a marker. I'm not very good at that. I tend to make an error, get like all the way around, make an error, you know, have ruined my beautiful card. So see, I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down, glue her down like this, like so, as my friend who is just so creative says, like so. And I'm going to take my cutter again, and I am just eyeballing it. There we go. Just eyeballing. And I'm going to put this here. So I didn't care about this Dream Big that was already on the paper. That's okay. We don't need it. We didn't need it. All right, let me get my handy dandy bag of what do you call it? Adhesive. We call it adhesive. I'm just snipping it, and I'm gonna go right here. Oh, thank you, Melissa. That is so sweet. Oh my gosh. She said I was worth coming back for. Thank you. I really felt kind of out of my element today for some reason. I've had kind of a, you know, now I'm kind of like, oh, hey, I can do this. I don't know. Earlier today I was feeling very flustered. I don't know why. Okay. So I'm going to put her right here, kind of covering up the those words. There we go. Now I don't know whether to use I don't know whether to put the Code of Elves, like have all 4 or have just 3. I'm not sure. So I'm going to go with 4 to begin with. I'm not going to glue it down at first, and that way I can kind of decide how I want to do it, right? And so I am going to actually glue this down first a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it. Then we can decide if we want all 4 or just 3. So this is the code. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Well, we won't do it. We won't worry about it. Say I didn't highlighting with pink. Okay, so I'm going to just snip this. I'm not the straightest cutter, so I'm going to snip it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut up the middle and kind of make a fin. Is that what you call it? A fin? A fishtail? A fin? A fishtail? I don't know. So I'm going to just do like this. There we go. Okay. So we have the Code of Elves. You know what I don't like about that? We probably won't use that one. I don't like it. I don't like that the mat will be off. That's what I don't like. Okay. So I'm going to glue this one down. Treat every day like Christmas. Isn't that a sweet saying? Treat every day like Christmas. I'm just going to cut that. I have plenty more paper if I make an error with my cutting, my mat. If I need to, another another pink piece of paper. Okay, so I like this better because you got the white around it. So we're just going to go with 3. We're almost done with this card, and I'm going to pop that up. I think it needs to be popped up. So this one, see, oh, it's just going to fit. Just going to fit. I think I'm out of frame a little bit. Is everybody ready for Christmas to come? Thank you, Clark. Clark Kent. I do think it'll be a cute card for somebody. Is everybody ready for Christmas? I'm not quite ready myself. I mean, like mentally, not like you got all your shopping done. But I'm not quite ready after having just done Halloween cards. I was thinking maybe I should have done a fall card instead, because I really am not quite ready for Christmas. Okay, I'm just trimming this up. I know I'm off camera, sorry. Here we go. Here we go. And I'm just going to go like this. And pop this one on. Okay. And then trim this, and then we'll put these on. Now, actually, if I wasn't doing a live, I would take a little bit more time with my sentiments and make sure they were a little bit more lined up, because I feel like they're a little off. But for a live, and I don't want to keep you after having had errors, problems with my internet. All right, so is this one too thick? No. So I think this one will be okay to use here. I'm just going to pop this on the back. All right, so we're going to have this one there. Like I said, I would be a little bit more careful with these if I were not doing a live. I'd make all my corners and everything square. Let me say something. This will be better. Not so many little ones I have to use. Sherry's going to think, gosh, her internet is always messed up. It really isn't. I usually don't have so many problems. Okay, here we go. Now, I don't do the insides of my cards until I give them to somebody. So what I thought we would do, see, yes, treat every day like Christmas. There's no room for everyone. There's no room. There's room for everyone on the naughty list. I don't know. Do you want to? Nah, we'll do it like that. And I would probably have, if I weren't doing a live, I would have maybe made those a little bit smaller so that they're not touching the roof of the house. But that's okay. That's okay. So we're going to do like this, like so. Then we have this one. I have, if I can see them, I had some little sparkly, I have some little sparkly things, but I don't know if the card really needs it. Okay, and take this one off. I'm not as quick as Gail as getting these backings off. Okay, so there. And then I do have, let me see if I can get it in frame. There we go. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so I do have these, and I didn't know whether to use them or not. I kind of thought it might be okay to put a couple down, 2 or 3, see, just to add a little bit of bling, sparkle, whatever. So I'm just, there's some rule about odd numbers. I don't know. I don't know if that's really a thing or not. People just say it. Maybe the people that manufacture these things say it so that you buy more of them. I don't know. So I'm going to pop this one down. I feel like I've lost people again, but it says the live is going, so I don't know. This one is stuck on my finger. So we're going to go over here and get another one. There we go. See, it's stuck. So I don't know. Put a couple here or leave it alone. What do you think? So this is the card right here. I thought it was just kind of cute that she's by a house. And this is an 8x8 card, so it is a larger card. I just thought it was a little different. So treat every day like Christmas. There's room for everyone on the nice list, and the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm sorry that I had to get off and get back on, but that happens sometimes. It'll be fun editing, but no worries. Dawn and Gail have regular lives. Gail, I believe her next live, I believe, is Sunday. And Dawn is on, Dawn is on Sunday. She's on Sunday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. She has regular lives. And rule of 3, yes. And Gail does lives twice a week. And then I'm doing them on Wednesday and Friday. And I'll post on my page when their lives are so that you know the times. But they do fantastic lives. And then Sharon does them kind of like last minute notice. She just does them. So thank you for joining me. I had a lot of fun. And I just, I do think, I love this image actually. I love the house with it and everything. You don't have to, lots and lots of layers is my preference. But sometimes you can do something a little different. Good night, you guys. Thanks for joining me.